on in, come on in, come on in. Today we are talking about surviving shut doors and setbacks. Surviving shut doors and setbacks. I don't know about you, but I have experienced my share of shut doors and setbacks. Even most recently, I applied for an opportunity that when I read the description, I knew that I had everything that they were looking for. I felt as if this opportunity was just handed to me in a box, a pretty box with a nice little bow on it, and put in my lap because I hit all the points that they were looking for. So when I put in my proposal, my application, I just knew. I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting. I just knew that I was going to get the telephone call to say, we're calling to let you know we reviewed your application and yada, 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 and so on and so forth. I just knew it. You couldn't tell me that I wasn't going to get it. But guess what? Boom. Shut door and setback. I'm talking major door slammed in my face and a major setback in the sense that the opportunity was taken off the table altogether. Did you hear me? Gone. Zip, whoop, as fast as it came, gone. So I wouldn't be considered because it no longer existed. So surviving shut doors and setbacks. You know what I like to do? Take it to the word. Take it to the word. So I had to remind myself that Psalm 37:23, New Living Translation, the Lord directs the steps of the godly. God delights in every detail of their lives. He delights in every detail of our lives. The Lord directs the steps of the godly. I'm the godly. You're the godly. Our steps are directed by God. Look, whether I'm in stilettos, whether I'm in tennis shoes on the walking trail, whether I'm in my espadrilles, J. Crew espadrilles, I have to remind myself, and I'm reminding you on today, that our steps are ordered, right? And I was reminded when I read that scripture about our steps being ordered. You know, I love an example, right? To support the scriptures that I bring to you all and that come to me. I like it. I like building a case. I'm not an attorney, my sister is. But in my career path of 30 plus years in the finance industry, I've had to justify budgets for years and financing for years and years and years. So I've learned how a default or a casualty of my career choice is being able to build a case. So, in reading the scripture that the Lord directs the steps of the godly, He delights in every detail of their lives and in my life, and I'm the godly and you're the godly. So, I was thinking about an example, and oh my gracious, a beautiful story that I recalled in the book of Numbers. And I mean, so serious is it that the Lord directing our steps and being engaged in the details of our life, of our journey, and our outcome is the story of Balaam. Balaam is a prophet. We can find his story in Numbers chapter 22 and Numbers chapter 23. But Balaam, a prophet of God, is hired by a king in a particular area of town. You read it for yourself. I'm just summarizing it here because I don't want to take up too much of your time. But he is hired because the people are coming against him. The people in his town are coming against him. And he's saying, you know what? You know what I can do? I'm going to get a prophet to come in here and tell these people that they are cursed. And then that way, when the prophet tells these people that they are cursed, they will be subdued and I can rule over them, right? So if you jump into Numbers chapter 22, verses 28 and verse 32, read the whole thing. It's good reading, I'm telling you. But it says, Balaam was on his way, right? Businessman, because that's what prophets did during that time. They spoke on behalf of God, but they were also hired to come in and speak, just like preachers today, right? And speakers today that are paid to come and speak at an event. So here it is. Balaam is on his way. He's on his donkey because he's headed in to speak the word to the people, do what he's been paid to do. And we jump in at Numbers 22, verse 28 and 32 is where I want to bring your attention right now. Then the Lord gave the donkey the ability to speak. What have I done to you that deserves your beating me 3 times? The donkey asked Balaam. And then the donkey says, and then the angel of the Lord shows up in verse 32. Because look, Balaam is so serious about his assignment that he keeps pressing. So when you read Numbers 22, it's going to record for you. You will see that every time Balaam started to move in the direction, the donkey stalled, right? And when the donkey stalled, Balaam beat the donkey. 3 times he did this because he didn't understand. Come on, mule. Why won't you get me to where we're trying to get to? And hence the conversation. So then the angel of the Lord shows up and says to Balaam in verse 32, why did you beat your donkey those 3 times? The angel of the Lord demanded. Look, I have come to block your way because you are stubbornly resisting me. This is God showing up because this is not the direction that Balaam is supposed to go into. So the angel of the Lord showed up on 3 separate occasions, and Balaam, hey, the prophet, didn't see the angel of the Lord, but the donkey did. That speaks volumes to me. That here it is, the man of God didn't see the angel, but the animal did. A lot of times I've heard stories that when tragic situations occur, weather occurrences, that people say they notice the animals running to the hills, or they notice the animals acting a little differently because the animals sensed that danger is on the horizon. Danger. Do not go beyond this point. That's what the angel of the Lord was speaking to Balaam. And when you continue to go into the scripture, once Balaam gets the revelation that, oh my goodness, maybe what I'm about to do, I'm not supposed to be doing, right? Maybe I'm not supposed to be going in that particular direction. So he has a conversation with God, and God tells Balaam, look, you belong to me. And because you belong to me, when I send you out on assignment, you have to do and say what I have given you the assignment to do and to say, right? Goes back to the scripture. In Psalm, the Lord directs the steps of the godly. He delights in every detail of their lives. He didn't want Balaam's God belongs to him. He didn't want him to be on that assignment and say the wrong thing. So much so, Balaam got the revelation. And in Numbers 23, verse 8, Balaam is getting up before the people. And he's talking to the king, and he's basically saying, but how can I curse those whom God has not cursed? How can I condemn those whom the Lord has not condemned, has not condemned? But how can I curse those whom God has not cursed? How can I condemn those whom the Lord has not condemned? Question mark. A flag on the play. How can I do that? I'm on assignment. This is what I'm supposed to do. I can't curse these people. I know that's what you've asked me to do. But I can't, in integrity and clear conscience, do this thing. God was so serious about ordering Balaam's steps that he sent an angel of the Lord to stop him dead in his tracks so that he wouldn't make a mistake. So God is the same yesterday, today, and forever. God is consistent. So if he did that for Balaam, right? God is doing the same thing for us today. So how do we survive closed doors and setbacks? It's in our scripture. We've unfolded it in the Lord directing our steps and being concerned about our details. We see a beautiful example of it in Balaam's assignment. Surviving shut doors and setbacks, first and foremost, we keep stepping and moving forward. We don't stop, right? I know Balaam stopped. He kept moving once he realized and got a revelation. Yes, you're on assignment, but this is how this assignment is going to go, right? The second thing is God's got the details, and so do you. God's got the details, and so do we. Because God is with us, in us, through us, God has the details. He's departing those details in us. And so we've got the details. This may be the way to go. I thought that opportunity was for me. It had my name all over it, right? But because God has the details, I have to trust and believe that yes, it was for me to apply because it was there. It was an opportunity. It was perfect. But because my steps are ordered, right? I got to get to the third point. Trust the process. Not now doesn't mean never. Not now doesn't mean never. Just because the door closed this time on that opportunity, just because it's a setback, what appears to be a setback, it's really not a setback. I've heard preachers say a setback is a setup, but look, my steps are ordered. Your steps are ordered. We're on assignment and we have to trust the process. We have to keep stepping and moving forward, not give up. Know that God has got the details, and so do we. And we have to trust the process because not now doesn't mean never. It doesn't mean that. It means just not for this particular moment in time, but that's part of the preparation process, right? So maybe, just maybe, the fact that I felt as though I was inspired to apply for that opportunity, that put me in the position that when another opportunity presents itself, I've got the details, right? And I can put in for the next opportunity and the next opportunity. And one of these times, not now, doesn't mean never. One of these times, I'm going to get it, right? Every no doesn't mean never, that it's not going to ever happen. Every closed door doesn't mean that another opportunity is not going to present itself. That's why we have to keep stepping and moving forward. We can't get stuck. And once Balaam got that revelation of what his assignment was, right, the pathway cleared and he was able to continue forward. Look, I'm here for you. I'm here to help you survive the shut doors and the setbacks. I'm available on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. You can find me, Lisa Lewis Ellis. You can email me, lisa at lisalewisellis.com. Call me, 833 542 2697. We are in this thing together, right? We want to survive the shut doors and the setbacks. We're able to move forward because we know and we trust and believe that the Lord directs the steps of the godly. He delights in every detail of their lives. I keep repeating it because this is how we survive the shut doors and the setbacks. We have to remember, just like in Jeremiah 29:11, when he says, I know the plans that I have for you. The plans are to give you a hope and a future. It's all good. I want good success for you. I want whole life prosperity for you in every area of your life, in your relationships with your children, your family members, in your employment, in your income area, just across the board, in your health. But we have to trust the process. We know that God is in the details, and we've got to keep moving. We've got to keep stepping because the steps are orchestrated by God. But guess what? We've got to keep stepping. We've got to give God something to work with. He's not going to force us to do it. I know it's hard. And in some instances, it's hurtful when a door is shut and when we experience a setback. But understand and know that I know that I know that I know, not what I heard, but what I know is that when we keep moving forward, there are blessings and opportunities ahead if we don't give up, when we trust the process. I'm telling you, I would not have gotten where I am in life if I gave up every time a door shut. Every time there was a setback or something negative occurred. There have been times in my life when I have grown exponentially. My income has grown exponentially and I've increased and was promoted on the job. But then there were also times that it felt like the 2 steps I took forward, when there was a setback or a shut door, I felt like I took 5 steps back. But I kept moving forward. I kept moving forward. I kept moving forward. And I tell you, I'm the better for it today because I kept moving forward, knowing that God is in the details and that I trust the process. So even though I didn't get that most recent opportunity, because I trust the process, I know my steps are ordered and that God is in the details. I trust the fact that maybe that wasn't for me. That must not have been for me. And God was so serious about me not getting it that he shut the door. Just like on Balaam, that a donkey spoke, right? I couldn't take a donkey speaking. I'm telling you, I'd be out cold. But the donkey spoke to Balaam and said, look, don't you see? I'm trying to rescue you and save you because you're about to do something you have no business doing. And it's going to take a lot to come back from. So remember, how we survive shut doors and setbacks is keep stepping and moving forward. Know that God's got the details and so do you. And trust the process. Not now doesn't mean never. Surviving shut doors and setbacks.